We have the t-shirts back in stock, my darlings. What is delayed is not denied. We have it in blue since you loved it so very much indeed, my darlings. You better go ahead and get your t-shirt before it sells out, because I just might go ahead and do a yellow t-shirt for you and an orange t-shirt. You have to bear in mind, Baby Girl is a small brand. We are self-funding here, so I can only do so much. But yes, the t-shirt is back and I am living and loving. I also have a surprise for you. Yes. You asked and I said, why not? We have brought the black t-shirt back. What is delayed is not denied. Are we living and loving? Girl. When I tell you, Fumi Nation, how are you? How are we, my darlings? Whoa. Do you remember a few days ago and a few days before that, I had covered the story of a 75-year-old grandmother who had unfortunately passed away after a fight at Tim Hortons. And then I went on to do another episode of where we heard her daughter cry and appeal. Well, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. I'm shocked. I'm speechless. Tawanda's Grayson's family have now had a series of family members. Well, Tawanda, who is Anita's daughter, Anita Grayson is the woman that passed away at the age of 75 after a fight with a 20 and a 17-year-old staff members over an order. She left her car because it was a drive-through when she made this order, and she came into the Hortons residence, and a fight ensued. Okay. So here we have a niece who has come out with quite a lot to say, and it has rendered me speechless. Okay. Let me just... This was on Facebook. It was sent to me by Fumi Nation. Chandrika Grayson said, I want to make sure you know, out of a shadow of a doubt, that you did what you had to do. No matter what so-called Grayson family is talking about, or they claim they are going to do, they are not going to do a single thing. They are all and absolutely nobody. I want to personally thank you for using your hands to finally get the justice that my mom and my auntie truly deserve. Your courage, and to our family, what has been going on for a long time. Don't let their noise stress you for a second. Yeah. So let me move on to this, because I don't even know what to say. An alleged relative of Anita Grayson, the 75-year-old woman who died after a physical altercation at Tim Hortons' location, has expressed support for the employee involved, pointing to what she describes as a long history of alleged abuse within the family. Chandrika Grayson said Anita Grayson was the stepmother of her mother and claimed she had subjected her mother and aunt to years of abusive behavior. For those unaware, the Tim Hortons incident happened when the 75-year-old Anita Grayson entered the Tim Hortons in Fort Wayne, Indiana, to complain about a drive-through order. According to police and released surveillance footage, the situation escalated after an argument with staff. A 20-year-old shift lead stepped in after Anita was allegedly berating a teenage employee. Police say Anita and the worker then became involved in a physical altercation that ended with both on the ground and the employee suffering injuries, including a chunk of her hair being pulled out. After the fight, Anita sat down inside the restaurant, but roughly 10 minutes later, she became unresponsive and later passed away at the hospital. Authorities say her official cause of death remains pending, and preliminary findings reportedly found no major traumatic injuries contributing to her death. Shan's new flash. The receipts are in. Chandrika Grayson. The lies are expiring and the clownery has officially closed. Let's go ahead and cut straight to the chase, because the Ghetto Fabulous fan fiction being cooked up in the background has reached a critical level of delusion. Word on the street, courtesy of my auntie and her friend with the dry, crunchy, distressed unit on her head. Yes, you, Tamika Mika Lika, whatever manly allies you're running with this week, they've really convinced themselves and are trying to convince you all that I'm not a real person, that I'm not black, that I'm a white person hiding behind the screen. First of all, the phone has been ringing off the hook with real life people who actually know me, see me, and know exactly who I am. And let's get one thing straight. I don't bar none with nothing or no one when it comes to talking my stuff. I say what I mean, and I say it to your face. Auntie, you know exactly who I am. Stop lying to these people to save face and ensure whatever little coins you're trying to scam out of them. It's giving desperate and it's giving broke. Since we are trying to question lineages and play stupid, let's establish some absolute facts. Number one, Anita Grayson is my step-grandmother. She was my granddaddy's second wife. And you all already know my granddaddy was such a player. He's been married 3 times, so try to keep up. We are absolutely family, and she knows exactly who I am and who my people are. Krusty Wig knows exactly who I am too, because I'm also kin to her friends and her friend's mother. The math is mathing, even if your frontal isn't. You all had a solid 72 hours to run your mouth. So now it's my turn. I'm about to drop the absolute blueprint and the receipts so we can permanently retire the fake identity narrative. And honey, we aren't stopping here. Hey. This is a multi-part series. We are going into the family archives. And yes, we are talking about my step auntie too. No stone left unturned. No scam left unexposed. To my real ones, grab your wine, grab your coffee, or if you don't drink, grab a cold soda. Pull up a seat and lock in, because Shan's news is officially on the air and the forecast is heavy. The shade is 100% chance of receipts. Talk to you all in a minute.
See that the granddaughter of Anita Grayson, the 75-year-old woman who passed away after getting in a fight with Tim Horton employees, posted on Facebook that she is happy that the Tim Horton employees beat up her grandmother. And when I first seen this, I was like, there's no way this is real. This is somebody trying to get clout off the situation. But then I went to her page and she was posting a lot. She was posting receipts. She was arguing back and forth with other people who also had the last name Grayson and based on their page are, related to Anita Grayson, the daughter, the sister, multiple people of the family. Very much crazy. Not only was she arguing with family members, she was also arguing with people who were sharing her posts like blog sites. She was going in their comments and arguing with people who had something to say about what she said. But basically, she alleges, or Chandrika says, that Anita Grayson was her mother and her aunt's stepmother. She was married to their grandfather and I believe had children with the grandfather as well. And that she was very abusive to them as children, and she has always been a very violent and aggressive person. And basically she effed around and found out, and this is the first time where she was held accountable for her terrible behavior, right? She's made multiple posts saying that this woman was just not a nice woman. She was not the sweet old lady that her biological children or grandchildren are alleging, right? Now, the sister of Anita made a Facebook post calling out Chandrika, and they went back and forth on the post. And then Chandrika decided to post the sister's criminal record dating back to the 90s, showing that she is also an aggressive and violent person. Some of the charges were like battery, cruelty to animals, and that sort of thing. So she was saying, it runs in the family. Y'all are nasty people, pretty much. Now, obviously, I don't know Anita Grayson personally. She is not here to defend herself, or give her side of the story with these allegations. So I'm not going to say that this lady deserves to die, okay? But what I will say is I'll stand by what I said in my last video, that had she not went out of the drive-thru and went in that store, arguing with those employees, she would still be here. She should have just got a refund, called corporate, whatever, and left it there. But there's no reason that we should be arguing with minimum wage employees over fast food, over $10 meals. Like, it's never that serious. I don't know, maybe I'm just too mature. Maybe I just got too much to lose. Maybe money is just, no object, so I'm not losing my mind over it. But she should not have went in that store acting the way that she did. And I also don't agree with people saying, oh, they should know how to de-escalate. We're talking about a 17-year-old. And when they told her to leave the store, she should have left, okay? And we don't know if they were in the background calling the police. The police don't just show up. Y'all know how police do. So it's a very sad situation all around. I'm sure they'll get paid. I'm sure they'll sue and they'll get a little something. But it all could have been prevented by her staying in her car and just driving off and just saying, I'm going to let God handle it.
To Anita Grayson's granddaughter, Chandrika Grayson, girl, I believe every word you have said and shared, and we stand behind you about the black community. They think we still in 1942 where people was sweeping shit up under the rug and acting like shit wasn't going on. We in 2026, and bitch, people are telling their truth now. Do not hold that stuff in, and then you wonder why people running around angry, mad, and sad, and with mental health issues because they holding on to shit because they don't want to piss their family members off. So keep sharing your truth, Chandrika. Girl, we stand behind you. Just know that, okay? We are behind you. That grandmama, shouldn't no 75-year-old woman be swinging at no damn body. I don't give a damn what was said and what happened in a damn coffee shop. Her swinging lets me know she likes to fight and put her hands on people.
If you can understand why Chud the Builder is being charged, you can understand why the Tim Hortons employee is not being charged. I'm a forensic scientist and a former CSI, and if somehow you have missed it, 75-year-old Anita Grayson died after confronting an employee about her coffee order in Tim Hortons. Anita Grayson, the person who died, is ultimately the person who started and instigated this fight. She went into this Tim Hortons at about 8 o'clock in the morning, apparently upset about her order that she received from the drive-thru, and she started verbally berating a 17-year-old employee. And then a supervisor, a shift leader who worked there, got in between the 17-year-old and the 75-year-old, and you can see in the video that the 20-year-old is like pointing towards the exit. She's clearly telling her, you need to leave. But Anita Grayson did not leave. She moved towards those two employees, and the shift lead kind of pushes her away, which again is the shift lead's right, because you can't get into somebody else's space and you cannot stay in an establishment once the employee has told you to leave. That's trespassing. You got to go. So the shift lead kind of pushes her away, and then Anita punches this girl in the face, which you cannot do. So she instigated the fight, and even though she wasn't the first person to go hands-on, she escalated the fight. The employee just basically like pushed her a little bit and tried to get her to leave, and Anita punched her in the face. Now they are fighting, and Anita pulls a chunk of this 20-year-old girl's hair out, leaving a raw spot on the top of her head. Other employees get involved, and these two are physically separated, and Anita is able to sit down at a table. Some time passes, and Anita is now laying on the floor. The employees go to check on her. They bring her a cup of water, and they call the police. And when they get there, they find Grayson unresponsive. And unfortunately, she died. The family is obviously very upset. Of course, they're going to be. Their mother and the matriarch of their family has died. Of course, that is tragic. They're saying that the Tim Hortons employees should have been more careful, that they basically jumped their mother, attacked their mother, and scared her to death. Important to note is that Anita Grayson was not beaten to death. She did not receive some sort of injury that caused her death. According to the preliminary results of her autopsy, there were no significant injuries. But Anita Grayson is a 75-year-old woman. She had congestive heart failure. She had a pre-existing condition. And if you have heart failure and you get into a physical altercation, now your heart is pounding, that can of course cause you to have an issue that leads to your death. And it seems like that is what happened, especially since Anita was fine and was sitting at a table and was able to move around and pick up chunks of hair and talk for a period of time after this altercation. Now, obviously, any loss of life is tragic, but the Tim Hortons employee had the right to defend themselves because Anita Grayson, according to what I saw with my own eyes on the surveillance video, caused the fight, instigated the fight, and continued the fight. The employees had the right to defend themselves in the exact same way that Chud the Builder was the instigator of the fight, and his victim had every right to defend himself. And Chud the Builder did not have the right to shoot a person because this person went hands-on in response to potentially getting shot. So although the facts of both cases are different, the underlying issue is the same, which is that if you are the instigator of the fight, you lose this self-defense claim.
A lot of y'all not gonna like this. You're not gonna like it. You're not gonna like it, man. But Anita Grayson was wrong for going into that Tim Hortons acting a fool like that, bro. Like, I'm sorry that she lost her life, but y'all gotta start learning accountability, man. And everything is not a racist situation. Everything is not a racist situation. Me personally, I would not look at this situation and be like, oh, they beat her to death because they're racist and they don't like black people. Anita Grayson was being aggressive as hell, bro. Way too aggressive, man. Not over no coffee, bro. Not over no coffee, man. And then I know a lot of y'all saying, oh, but she's elderly. Elderly people are some of the most disrespectful people in the world right now. They have entitlement issues. They have anger issues, all type of stuff, bro. Anita Grayson was ultimately the cause of Anita Grayson's death, bro. Them folks didn't beat her to death, man. That lady basically had a heart attack from overdoing herself, from overexhausting herself, for putting herself in a situation that she could have completely avoided. Like I said, y'all ain't gonna like this because a lot of y'all struggle with accountability, man. But sometimes you just gotta leave. Sometimes you just gotta go, no matter if you order wrong or not. I done been in the same situation as Miss Anita Grayson. You get what I'm saying? And I just had to walk away. I had to walk away because I knew if I would have went into the restaurant and confronted the people that made my order wrong, it would have ended badly for me, them, or both of us. Y'all gotta stop overcomplicating stuff, man. Stop overcomplicating stuff, bruh. And for the life of God, quit making everything about race, bruh. This ain't about race. It was about respect and what to do and what not to do in certain situations, bruh. Learn from it. Just learn from it.
Oh, wow. It goes on to say, it is hilarious to me how the Grayson family runs to church every single Sunday, yet spends the rest of the week harboring pure malice, hypocrisy, and mayhem. You're all as loud as hell, demanding justice for Nita, while completely erasing the factual, disgusting abuse my mother and auntie survived under the same roof, getting beaten and burned on stoves while everyone looked the other way. Let's call a spade a spade. The entire root of your hatred towards my mother, myself, and our side of the family is pure, unadulterated racism because my grandmother, Adelaide Roy, was white, while great-grandma Lester was black. You were so consumed by the color of Adelina's skin that you let that nasty prejudice spew over onto us, making slick comments about her race, even in her death, and bitter remarks about my granddaddy shouldn't have married a white woman. To use her race as an excuse to treat us like we were half kin is pathetic. Let's be clear, we have the actual bloodline, and Nita was just an in-law. But your generational hate and color bias ran so deep that you'd rather vindicate a child abuser than accept your own blood. Keep sitting in those pews every Sunday, though clearly you need the da-da-da-da. I don't know, because it cut off there. I was speechless, to say the very least. Let me continue reading and seeing. And then there were receipts of our beautiful Tawanda, and she had all kinds of criminal pasts. All of this, homegirl gave the receipts. State of Indiana versus Tawanda T. Grayson. Case 0TD04-9908-DF0061110. Court, Allen Superior Court 5, DF CLD felony or lesser charge. All of the charges that Tawanda had are here. One of them was cruelty towards an animal. That was when I felt bad. That was when I felt what? That was when I felt bad. I was like, oh, no. This is not fabulous at all. And so this is the family that is fighting for justice for Anita Grayson. Plot holes in the Anita Grayson, plot holes in the Anita Grayson GoFundMe campaigns. Leaving this here because the math is not what? The math is not mathing. If you see the fundraisers circulating on your timeline, you need to look at the details before you hit donate. Jesus. People are talking about securing the bag, quote and unquote. And when you look at the actual pages side by side, it's incredibly suspicious. Let's look at the facts. The timeline makes no sense according to the GoFundMe's own data on the active pages. What? Pages? Not one page. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Campaign A, the main one raised by Tawanda, was created 6 days ago. The second campaign, Campaign B, the duplicate one raised by Tiffany, was created 2 days ago. Why are duplicate pages being spun up days apart by different people instead of having one unified coordinated family fund? Disgrace. The stories are completely conflicting. The rumor mill, initial complaints, people on social media were claiming she was sick for a long time and passed from congestive heart failure. A God, disgrace. Disgrace. Tawanda's campaign copy explicitly states that she was killed during an altercation at a Tim Hortons in Fort Wayne, Indiana. Tiffany's campaign copy changes the narrative entirely to an untimely departure due to unimaginable circumstances and specifically asks for attorney fees as we seek justice for her. How does a medical emergency suddenly turn to a lawsuit attorney fee collection? On a second page created days later. Wait, hold on. It could be a situation. It could be a situation where they are going to start looking for, they need lawyers because they want to seek justice, a civil case with Tim Hortons. And maybe they are separating because they don't have any money. So one will go for the funeral and the burial, and then the other one is to fight, for justice. I'm trying to understand. Because I don't want it to come off as gossipy, because I don't know, but that's what I'm thinking. Drop it down in the comments. The geographical disconnect, the actual tragedy and investigation are happening locally in Fort Wayne, Indiana. The second GoFundMe page asking for legal fees were created by an organizer located all the way out in Kansas City, Missouri. Well, maybe that's where Tiffany is. Maybe that's where Tiffany stays. I don't know. Bypassing local assistance. For those who don't know, Indiana Medicaid Burial Assistance and the township trustees in Allen County exist specifically to help low-income families cover direct burial and cremation costs. Shut the front door. Jumping straight to a high-collar crowdfunding goal, $12,000 without using local state-funded safety nets looks like a push for a liquid cash payout rather than just getting a funeral handled. This is bad. The bottom line, when you have multiple family members from different states spinning up duplicate fundraisers days apart, changing the story about medical to legal and asking for thousands in cash without touching local state aid, something is wrong. Protect your pockets and ask questions. Oh my God. Darlings, that's what we have out here. That Anita, who passed away, was actually quite violent. She was actually quite violent, and this is no new news. Absolutely. This is no new news at all. What a shame. Again, I have said, I wasn't there. We did not get any audio. I blame all parties. Walk away. Walk away. Walk away. For those of you that know me here on YouTube, I keep it pushing. I don't respond. I don't engage too crazy. I do not. I don't engage to quit. As soon as I see that you're kind of not all the way there, I don't engage, because I have a life, I have a family that I love and loves me, and I want to live my life. But to leave this kind of legacy is sad. It's just sad. It's just what? It's just sad. I'm speechless. Jesus. All right, my darlings, do not forget to like, to subscribe, hit the notification button, and I'll see you what? I'll see you sooner than later. Mwah. All of my love.
You can carry on.
Darlings, just look at my Sierra Leonean sister driving this bus and doing her thing. I was just walking. I'm going to go and get some stuff. And she was like, hey. And I said, no. Fumi Nation. I love you, baby.
She's fire.
Oh my God.
She's fire.
I live and love you guys. You make me laugh and smile every day. So we said that we're going to come out here and just give you some love, okay? Yes. Love. I hope this thing stops because it's a 1 minute thing. Hold on.
Hi guys, my name is ENITAN, hair coach. I am UK's first ever hair coach and a trichologist. We are a team of trichologists and hair coaches here in W6 London, and we help those who are desperate and have tried and everything else has failed. We look after those who have chronic scalp concerns, flaky, itchy scalp that's been going on for many years. We help those that have hair loss that has progressed instead of improved, and we help those that just generally want to have a better understanding of better quality hair, length, volume, and reduce that dryness. Visit us by clicking